Speaking of that neighborhood, Africa almost touches southern Italy. Southern Italy.
So, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello. 1 second.
This is just okay. Welcome to the media.
Good evening, and welcome to the nightly exchange. I'm with Miss Arthur here, and thank you for joining us. If you have already joined us, or you will join us later, we sorry again for the time. I know the time. Always, and we always put our people to sleep before we start coming on the show, which is very bad, but we'll work on that. God's willing, we'll work on that. But thank you for joining us. This is the night that has changed, and you can find us on Liberia Watch News on YouTube and Facebook. When you go there, please share and like the show so we can discuss happenings in the country. This is an independent platform. We come here, everyone, all Liberians come here from different sides of the political aisle and come here to discuss, about Liberia on the way forward and their political party too. Sometimes defend and propagate their political party messages. And that's all we all do. Yeah, we have sides too. I'm not a journalist. Even though I'm hosting a show, I also have a side. Okay, so don't work my host yes show. She said, yeah, I got a side. So we're all here, and sometimes when we get done, we put a phone number in the chat or on the stream for you to call in and make your point on the topic on the discussion. So because we all have to, chip in when it comes to Liberia. If you're watching us, anytime you want to come on, just write it in the chat and we'll send you the link for you to come on and make your point and share your views as well. So with that being said, there's a lot of things going in the country, but I think the rain is mostly the big one today. There's a lot of rain, and Mr. Arthur here will let us know what is really happening in there. Welcome, Mr. Arthur, and can you just tell us what's on your mind and tell us what's going on in the country? Since we are not present, we can feel it while you talk about it.
Yeah, thank you, Timmy,
No
for
problem.
the opportunity, and thanks to the team. Like we said, based on our schedules, we try to see how we can have the exchange, like on Monday nights, and yeah, any time in the week. We somehow,
Mhm.
because of the time, like you're saying, our library is now asleep, and then waking up, you have to get ready for the next day is a serious challenge. But I think, yeah, the rain has been a very serious, it's very serious here today.
Mhm.
We saw the level of damage it actually caused in a lot of communities. People are today homeless
Mhm.
because of the rain,
The
and
flooding, huh?
yeah, the flooding is not easy, even to the extent that even City Hall, all the kind of different places in Morovia were already flooded today. So yeah, it's been a serious challenge, and yeah, in Liberia we talk about the debate. It just was Yamik basically was nominated, and
Right.
then there are people who are arguing that the current chief justice is saying she's 69, he has already 70. So that's another debate, and
I think
this whole
that was
debate.
just a little propaganda. I don't think that was something that was factual. I
Yeah, I
think
know that one thing.
that was
People
a little
just try
joke.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, people just try to crack in that, yes, and then yeah, the president has already forwarded the name to the Senate. They will be there, and then they see confirmation whatsoever. It will be possible, and then that's how the country moves on. But one of the major things that is now in the country is this whole idea about the president quest to rebury leaders,
Right.
former leaders of the country, giving them befitting burial, so that we can close a chapter on a lot of those things. But in my view, the president has his own strategy he's using, but I think the strategy will not work if it is not holistic because everything must be about everybody. All right, because I think the president must also think about building a memorial wall where parents and the people who are around who know that their family members were killed during the war, those families can be able to work with that memorial committee, and to see how on the wall their family
So that
members needs to be
it,
on that kind of wall. I think it's very good. So we'll go into the
yeah, so that
argument
some of
ahead, but
the
I think
barrier,
those are some of the things that are happening. Yeah.
yeah, the barrier thing having to be one of our topic. But first, we're gonna, yeah, like you said, well, let's talk about that rain thing you fight for a little bit, like the flooding thing. And I think what is that? The drainage problem. The
Yes. Hmm. It's
and
drainage.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's drainage, but not only drainage, because there are places that the flooding is occurring now that normally it never used to happen just easily. The kind of ways it is going. So it's all about the idea about the climate change. Things are changing. The tides are rising, and the challenges will always be there. So long the weather wave is rising up, the kind of way it is, it will be a problem.
Because we sometimes have a lot of flooding in the U.S. too now. So a whole lot of places
Mhm.
like Florida, and here too, even in Houston, Texas, we have a lot of flooding and stuff. I know y'all country people, um, everything is politics now, but yeah, I don't know that climate change is real. You know,
Mhm.
it's even the winter now in certain places is bad now, and it never used to be like that. So with this is a Liberia, we just I don't know if anything can be done about that. With my opinion, the only thing is to just like the little drainage and stuff that is there to take good care of it, you know, to have they do whether the community do whether take good care of it and not be so careless with it, trash and putting trash there because that's what people said they do with these things, put trash all in it, and with the rising of the water it makes it worse, you know. It was gonna happen, but if those places are clear for water to go pathway and something, I don't think it would be that bad like we are seeing it now. But
Mhm.
then again, who's gonna tell them everything? Even if the neighbors is telling them, they say, "Oh, that government's in denial, house in denial." Yeah, so people have to understand that they need to get that mindset that if it's for government passing in front of your house, anything bad happening there, government will not feed it like you feeding it. So you have to take care
Mhm.
of it. You
Mhm.
have to be something the government will not come to your house to take care of those things. You have to. So people really need to, be condescending about that. But hey, everything is the water rise is the government, the water go down is the government. So we'll see. But we really hope that if their government, if they have government radios that they listen to them, maybe they need to educate them on those things and let them and tell them about how to take care of those judicious and stuff. Maybe it'll make it even not maybe not stop it, but a little more better. It might not
Mhm.
rise equal to the way it is now because it will be going in the drainages and stuff. If they keep it clean and the water can go clearly without the trash blocking it and things like that.
Mhm. That's true. That's true. And I think, like you said, it's about awareness. And, always you talk about the political part about it. And
Mhm.
and that's the most dangerous part. All right. Like we told people, if you have a country where you do not have loyal opposition, everything the opposition is doing is all about criticizing the government and lying. And when people want to take actions, they say, "Oh, that government's supposed to do it."
Mhm.
Everything is just about government, government, government. When you come to power, that's it. It's just a kind of vicious cycle. So people politicize everything, even the ring. Um, People would tell you that the only thing that is left in the country is that the current government has violated everything except the law of nature, which is the government cannot control the rain and the flooding. So it is the only thing that is left now. Only God is managing that. So people politicize everything because that's the culture of opposition in our country. And for me, I don't think it's healthy. We must be able to fully discuss, but we must understand there are things in our community we must be able to work with government agencies. Let's try to do their witness. And when we all do their witness, it will help the country to grow.
Absolutely. So that's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to criticize government, like you said, when they're doing like on their things that you have to criticize them on. But if you're lying and saying that everything, like even for the citizen to take care of their community to make it, safe for these natural disasters and stuff like that. I mean, who are you hurting? You're hurting the people, not the government, because you're making them to believe that yeah, they're supposed to sit and fold their hands, not do
Hmm.
anything, and the government will come and do everything for them, and that's not true. They have a responsibility too to do something, and because a lot of times I see how people some things and I be, oh, we want the government to come, we want the government to come, and I'm like, what do you want the government to do about that? Like, but that's what it thinks. I guess that's what it made them believe. That's how it's supposed to work. Every little thing is supposed to be the government. It's supposed to be the government. It's supposed to be the government. But yeah, there are a lot of awareness that needs to happen, and we really need to move from that. Yeah, so we're going into the nomination.
Yeah,
The
I just wanted to, yeah, I wanted to
oh
highlight
yeah,
something because maybe you are not following also in the country. We have a lot of graduation going around
okay.
for the kindergarten graduations and the ninth grade graduation too. So it's something that is very much exciting in the country. A lot of parents are now hoping for that. This going Sunday.
Do you have a
I
student
have,
graduating?
yeah, my daughter will be graduating with the 12th grade, and
Oh,
I had the opportunity to speak.
that's
Yeah, to speak
great.
to a
Make sure you
graduation.
bring
So
her
yeah, I was
picture
at.
when graduation. We can put it up and wish her happy.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Graduation.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had an opportunity to speak to a kindergarten school, Praise Chapel. They had a kindergarten graduation, and I was able to talk to them. And then I told the parents and even them that the future we want is actually in them. And so, if we want a very bright future for our country now, it is time for us to rally the country around and see
Mhm.
how we can start to focus on these young people because we focus on the now too much
Mhm.
and we do not prepare for the tomorrow. And we just
Absolutely.
think about the brand, what I issue today, we can find food, we can find food. But if the children are preparing for the future, the challenges that are there, how are we advising them? What are opportunities we're creating for them? So we ignore most of those things in our daily lives in Liberia. So I was able to tell them that the future we actually want is in those children. And then that the children should understand that and the word is challenge. It's full of a lot of challenges, but they
Yeah.
must also understand that the word is also full of a lot of big dreams. So you have the dream to move your country forward. You have a dream to move yourself forward. You have the dream to do all you can to conquer the word. And I think it was a very wonderful time at the church there talking to those young people. You
Mhm. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. They are the future. People, talking to the young people in Africa, like I mean in Liberia, well, Africa as a whole, but Liberia, and all the revolutionary, something that they are established. I don't know. I should say establishing or grooming now those militancy and all of this thing that at graduation like that to talk to people who are already coming out and then the ones that are still back to kind of educate them to move them forward from those things. educate on their civil right, right? The civil right to go vote, so to have a saying as young adults and going forward. But though creating chaos and militancy and want to be just in the street whole day, like everywhere they having political days, the day and being to just move them away from that and try to make them to understand the state that our country is in and how it's in their hands, right? As young people coming up, because now the older people who are there who are making it worse, they soon, like in a couple of years, they'll all be off that stage, right? And it'll be new breed that coming on this stage. So it has to be people with different mindset altogether, and not just about myself and my pocket and my family, right? So that's the kind of
Mhm.
things we want to see today in young people. So it's good to have people,
Yeah,
educating
so
them.
let me just give you an update about what in personally what we've been doing here too. Maybe we just been interacting on the show, but you really don't know me in person in terms of what I've been involved with.
Hmm.
You talk about the issue about the militancy, but I am one person who I've been really working with this current generation of young leaders from far back as 2009, 2010. I started working with young people, from the Mano River Union to that of the Lin Sioux, all right. So that's the National Student Union, all right. So we've been working with FLA, all right, the Federation of Liberian Youth. So all these youth institutions, we've been working with them. I run the Pan African Conscious Center. I'm a very strong Pan Africanist. I believe in my mind that if we just forget about discussing about who we are as Pan Africanists, I believe in the solidarity or the oneness of the African people. Granted, if you are on the motherland or in the diaspora, the motherland is calling. We all
Yeah.
have to come back. We all have to build our continent together because it is one of the richest continents in the world, but exploited. So
Yeah.
when we see young people, like I was saying to you, with the quest for militancy, just that some of them go the other way and to undermine the process. But without the concept of militancy, understanding their quest, because the issue of a militant is awareness. People who
Mhm.
are aware about what is happening in their surrounding and how can they be able to amplify it. That's the whole concept about militancy. So if you kill that in the society, you say, oh, just forget about it. The only thing we need to tell them is that the violent component, militants are not violent group of
Well,
people.
yeah,
They are intellectuals. They are people who debate the issues, who find solutions to the issues. So you see, like I said to you, we've been managing most of those groups. You see, for the SUP at the University of Liberia, we've been working with a lot of the other leadership in the past. For STUDA, we've been working with them. For SIM, we've been working with them. And now POSA, we've been working with them. I had an opportunity on June 16th because I had a program for the Day of the African Child. They invited me, and I was there to be able to talk to those young people. So we cannot go far away from them because if we go far away from them, some of the wrongs they're doing, they will not know. Today, we are at Pan African Conscious Center. I don't know if you have heard about Professor Lumumba from Kenya.
Mhm.
All right, Professor Lumumba from Kenya, we're working with him now. We already have like a clothing. We have a clothing line where we're sewing a lot of clothes for young people to empower them, give them that awareness about wearing what they sew. So we're doing some training with those other young people. So a lot of things we're doing, but we cannot forget about them. When they are in the militant mood, we have to put them in the right frame of mind. They
Mhm.
must be curious, but they should do it in the form and manner in a way people will have respect for them rather than to be violent. That
Yeah.
we have to discourage.
Maybe that's the part I meant, like the violent opponent of it, like not the whole other part. That's what I would mean. That's what I meant to talk about. Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
job on
Go
that.
forward.
Thank you for your hard work, and we hope you continue doing that for our young people. So,
Yeah. Uh,
as we move on to the president, as we know, the Chief Justice is supposed to be retiring. Shannon Yo, Miss Shannon Yo. Um, she's supposed to be retiring, and we have the president has already nominated her replacement. In Justice Bissett. Let me find it rather and read it. So here we have it says just a little shortening I'm gonna read. Executive Mansion Morovia presents Joseph Yuma Boyka Sr. has nominated Associate Justice Yomi Kwekwe with wow, Buja his name, forgive me. Yomi Kwekwe with as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, pending confirmation by the Liberian Senate. The nomination was made in accordance with Article 54C of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia, which grants the President the authority to appoint the Chief Justice, Associate Justices, and Justice of subordinate courts. Additionally, the nomination, along with Article 72B of the Constitution, which mandates retirement of justices upon reaching the age of 70, in a letter addressed to Senator Nyambi Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate. President Bouaka described Justice Wizard as a distinguished jurist who has demonstrated exemplary integrity, profound legal acumen, and commitment to uphold the rule of law. They were what Mr. Atta say that this show. The rule of law. President Boyka called the Honorable Liberian Senator expeditious consider and confirm this nomination. Justice Wizard appointment, if confirmed, will mark his continuation of his long-standing judicial service and dedication to the Liberian legal system. So there you have it, Mr. Arthur. What do you make of this appointment in Justice Wizard to become the next Chief Justice of Liberia? Do you think the president had you know, do you think he's a good pick, or do you have any reservation on this appointment?
I really don't have a lot of understanding about Justice Busy and
Okay.
he's working in the law field in Liberia. I really I don't have a lot of idea about the role he has actually been playing because um he's he's one person who the way we see recently after when we heard about the Chief Justice retirement, he was one person who name was just out there, especially from the people of the ruling party. Majority of them, I think they favor him for some reasons, which I
What
would
do you
pray that
think
it
those
should not be.
reasons are, if I may ask you?
I don't know because I think some of them feel that the current Chief Justice, because she's still there, was a little bit, moderate. She was not a kind of hardcore Chief Justice in terms of, you know, siding with the president on everything, trying to make sure that, anything the president wants, he can get it. They feel that, Justice Busy can be able to give to them,
But this chief
which
justice
in my
has
mind,
been there long, there since the president came to power. So how could they have made such a conclusion about her? Like she wasn't there for a
no,
long time. You say?
I'm saying she was, yeah, but not everything the executive actually wanted, she would give it to the executive. We know the issue about the most famous Punani Kuma case. The chief justice was very clear about that. All right. We know there are some other major things that the past government wanted, the tenure issues. Chief Justice was very clear about it. Interpretation or the full bench interpretation was very clear. So the people, the ruling party, those are in power now, really did not see her as being somebody they could control. So I think they think that, Justice Busy can be somebody that they can be able to manipulate. Because, like I said, I don't really have a lot of in-depth idea about his
So
political alignment. Yeah, but I feel that I'm sensing that they want to use him for a lot of for a lot of reasons. I don't know.
so Miss okay, so let's say the rules are on the law. I mean, the rules are on the book. Yeah, the Constitution and the laws are there, right? The rules and everything they are there, and the Supreme Court's supposed to look at that and interpret or rule on the case, right? So if you're
Hmm.
telling me that if the president want a justice chief justice that he can control, or that will say yes to everything he says, is a chief justice gonna be so brave to look at the rule on the book and everyone knows it and bend that rule because of the president? Is that how it works? Or you think any chief justice can do that?
They, the Honorable Supreme Court is the greatest arbiter of our laws.
Mm-hmm.
What they interpret, what the bench isn't to interpret, that's it. That's the final decision. It should be the final decision. But you even see that where we live now, the Chief Justice or the Supreme Court bench can decide on something, and then the executive can tell you that though you said this, but this is where we want to go. I don't think in every democratic system where you talk about check and balances, you don't encourage that. When the Supreme Court, the bench of the Supreme Court, when it speaks, it's a law because it's only God that should change that. It's not any more enemy. But under this government, we know what really has been happening. All right, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of other cases that went on, and especially the famous one, the Fanani Kumba case. The Supreme Court bench came out with its ruling, and the executive said that they couldn't obey the ruling. They were still going to be working with the
Is that what
majority.
the executive
Now
said?
the quorum. Yes, that was what the executive said. That they will work with quorum. They're not going to work with
Right.
what the chief justice and the other justices said. Yeah, that's long. If the people do not have a speaker, though they have a quorum, but if there's no speaker, the gathering is not valid. So the only way it can be valid is for them to go back. They have the speaker, and then they can be able to proceed from there. But anything to do outside of that framework is unconstitutional.
Thank you, Mr. Arthur. Welcome to the show. Sorry. We
Yeah,
talking
thank you so much.
no problem. We were talking about the I don't know if you were watching from the back, listening from the back. Yeah, the pick the appointment that the president have already made for Chief Justice. What is your thought on that?
Well, I think it's a good thing, and like you read out the portion of the constitution that gave the president the authority
Mm-hmm.
and in line with procedure to the Senate. That thing is a good thing, and it is always in Liberia the issue about people having opinion about a particular individual, even the current chief justice when she was appointed.
Mm-hmm.
But then Unipace folks had a lot of saying about her involvement with the CDC, how she was involved into the issue about cabinet Janet removal. All the basis argument was coming from all over the place. So the argument about hey dissenting opinion, which is backed by law,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that should be something that we should actually argue here, because when you look at justices on that bench, they have right to gather dissenting opinion and how they think about certain ruling. that is backed by law. But people will come out with the argument because if he threatened about another person. But what is the message we can send out to the newly appointed Chief Justice Destiny is to do the right thing. There are a lot of things people say about the outgoing Chief Justice that they had their own view about her, but she hold on to several other ruling in line with law that nobody can argue about. Yeah, right now. Like, but I thought we're referencing one of the kids, the judge in the case of the House of Representatives. That could be
Mhm.
one thing people could reference, and many other cases that government have gone to court. So
Right.
she won to the law, and I think that should be the right thing of
I,
anybody because we're talking about separate equal branches of government that should run on some level of independence. Somehow people will want to think that the law will be twisted by this Chief Justice. Until that happens, I think until that happens, then we can discuss that. But I have no doubt that he will do the right thing. As a matter of fact, to my knowledge, I don't have any 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 doubt about his being part of that bench and ascending to the power of Chief Justice. But always political pundit, like I said, we always had a dissenting opinion because when the country is polarized with too many politics,
mhm.
it is a right for anybody to have certain opinion. And, but I think we have to be careful as to how we sometimes come out with certain conclusion. Maybe because of a dissenting opinion, which is backed by law, as per the statute that created that arm of government.
So, with the CDC having these, being a little skeptical about this guy, like Mr. Arthur here, he's supposed to CDC. He said, maybe he'll be the one that the president will be able to, you know, manipulate to sway rulings and stuff like that, which I find it very, odd because I don't know how someone would want to put that integrity on the line to see the laws there, the rules there, and then twist it because the president wants you to twist it. But anyway, I just wanted to know who appointed this Justice Whitfield to the bench. If you
Well, I think she was appointed by President Weah. She was appointed by President Weah.
okay. So, thank you. Let me go, Mr. Arthur, a little bit. So, Mr. Arthur, so even though this lady were appointed here in the United States, would say, "Oh, this person appointed this, the person," so the person is more loyal to that person or whatever. But in this case, you are saying that she might be more loyal to the Unity Party government. How is that?
So, like I said, I don't have a lot of idea about I know the the judge Yami Bezi, but from our own reading, a lot of allegations are clear that he's been sympathetic to the Unity Party, and I think on the bench there are people who people are expecting, and, that the president could be able to nominate, but the president, in his own wisdom, finds it necessary and to appoint the George Yamigbisi. But all we can tell
Does
him, or
does the appointment come by seniority, or the president can just choose anyone, or it comes
the
by?
president can choose anyone or somebody. It is his prerogative.
Okay.
He just look on the bench and choose just anyone. All right. Because if you have a seniority, I think they are much more, there are people down there who are much more senior than him on the bench.
Okay.
So, yeah, so the president has the right and who he believes that, is suited for the job, he nominates, he appoint the person, and then the Senate will look into it and confirm. But what we want to say is that, like you continue to say, oh, I have to support CDC. It's not just about us supporting the CDC, but it's about us supporting the peace and stability of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we do not support the peace and stability of the country, I think that's the greatest threat we have in our country. When everything is not in place, so long our peace is in place, we know that there will be a tomorrow. So
Absolutely.
we just want to say that the judicial system should not be weaponized against the opposition, because what we're hearing is that he's going to ensure that he takes CDC from the party headquarters. He's going to make sure that a lot of things on the social media, we just look at them. We're going to make sure that all the people submit to everybody will be arrested, put in jail, Joey, all kind of things you're talking about the mandate that is given him. All we
Well,
can say is that let us be careful. Let's be
Miss
careful.
Spider, will you believe something? Everything that we see on Facebook and in the gossip blog or on talk shit, and that people just feel out because they want to create chaos and panicking people. Because if that is the case, we heard that President Walker was going to nominate what's his name, Jerome Verda to the court. That's what they've been running around with on Facebook. So and that did not happen. So why should we say here? Because people saying this, people, don't you think that's they are just panicking because of what they have done, and they know that the game prosecutor and not a President Walker had appointed someone. They're thinking that he would be loyal to President Walker and not follow the laws, all the rules on the book and stuff like that. Don't you think that's what's going on here? Because I don't think the president is, from what we have been seeing so far, unless I get people who support the sedition, who are not like you, who offer the peace and offer the right thing to be done, that have been calling everything witch hunt, that they would think that anyone for that matter that the president appointed, they would still have those rumors and conspiracy theories going around. So I don't think that's something that we can really take for granted. It's just something that people are there to say. And like, even if it were the other side, other way around, if it were President Ria that were going after these people, the other people, the United Party folks were probably going to have something like that to say once he appointed something. So I think that's just our country, a Liberia thing, that when one person doing something, people just want to muddy. Like, even from ever since the whole investigation thing started, people have been trying to like water it down, been trying to sow doubt in the public mind to make people to understand that, oh, they don't have any evidence, even though they don't know what the government has. They always trying to make it look like in the public, make the people public to think that the government is just going grabbing people and just throwing them in prison out of nowhere. So these are all allegations. These are all conspiracy theories that they're trying to run with, and I don't think we should see anything until we can see that happen. I don't think we should be giving those things, those thoughts, or any, any attention. But yeah,
No, but yeah, but like you said, I think it's not just about the conspiracy theory. I think majority of the things that this government wanted to do, the loyalists push those things on social media before they can even do them. The arrest of Kimenya was very clear. People knew that he was going to be arrested 2 to 3 days. The arrest of Fonadi Kufa and Abu Kamara and all the other people. People knew that they were going to be arrested. All right. So the government loyalists, one thing that is the young, exuberant, partisans of the Unity Party believes that they use the social media to win a battle, and they believe that they can use the social media to constantly win all battles and eventually win the war. But the war is still ahead. That is, we get so many other battles to still fight. So using social media, it can be at an advantage at a particular point, but it cannot be at the advantage throughout. So spilling out those things on the social media, and some of us, we know who is speaking. We don't just follow anyone, but there are specific group of people when you see them speaking, you know that this is what they are planning, and it comes to pass most often. It may not
but
be always.
do you call it planning, or you call it like, because a lot of time here too we hear about arrests that are being made by FBI and stuff. So these are investigation that have been concluded, and people knows about things like that happening. Like it's not so much of a plan, but it had already been discussed, and they already have investigated those folks, and we hear about so time they're gonna go and these people are gonna be arrested. These people, some things that we do here. I don't think anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Because if you already concluded on an investigation and people knows about the conclusion of those investigations, of course those things will leak. And if you're talking about it out there that this is what we came out with and this is what's going to happen, it's not that something that they just playing. Oh, let's just plan this and just do this, and then they're talking about it. No, I don't think that's what it is. So these, like the one that I just told you, that people just assuming that they're going to make Jerome Varda the next Chief Justice. There was nothing that came from the executive mansion that said anything like that, but people were just insinuating that that's what was going to happen, but it did not happen. So that's what I mean when I was
Yeah,
saying stuff like that.
yeah, but that's just it. Like you said, most of it is not really planned, but people will eavesdrop and hear that these are the things that people will be happening in the country. And in the end, you just see it coming to life. And yes, that's the
Mhm.
country. I don't care what we do. Like I said to you, the social media now, the social media is the point of the last battle. So everybody preparing for that battle. We don't know who will win it, but yeah, and
So
yeah, because sometimes you
battle for the presidency.
not only for the presidency, but yeah, the social media is a frontier for the last battle of life. We don't know who will conquer, but sometimes yeah, people. Like on a general note, I'm just saying that anybody want to pick on you today, they may go to the local media, but in the end, it is the social media they want to make sure that they defeat you on the social media. So it's a place of the last battleground. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Sorry, you have anything else to add before we move on?
Let him miss progress. I'm okay on that stuff.
Okay, so next, so the ring. We already
You
talked
got
about
it?
the ring. Next, we're gonna talk about a famous saint in Liberia that is going on. We know last week the president, or the past weeks, the president has been, engaged with having a last from one of the former presidents, Samuel K. Doe, reburial. Um, Give him a proper burial with his family and his wife, who had just passed away, and that was a couple of weeks in the making. And it just the final burial was done on. During this weekend, was it Friday or Thursday? Saturday, right? No, Friday. I'm not forget. When was the 20th? Yesterday was the 20th. No, it wasn't Sunday. It was Friday. Help me out here, guys. Oh, it was Thursday.
Yeah, I think it was Thursday.
Yeah, the final burial was done. So
It was
yesterday,
on Friday.
It was on Friday, right?
Friday.
Okay, Friday.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm messing my days up. Sorry, guys. So, welcome to the show, Wilson and Francis. Nice to have you guys here. And sorry, is that you? Is this Swallow Boy? They got your avatar, so I thought that was you in the comments. So yeah. So yesterday, the president went paying a visit to the Tolbert family, because their father and brother and cousins or whatever, President William William V.S.
October.
Aratoba. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. There you go. He paid a visit to the family on Sunday to discuss the reburial of President Tupper. And the president was there giving, give a speech of unity and forgiveness, and how it's important that our country be united, be unified, and that we let the past be behind us. And it was a good meeting, and the family embraced him. They talked about forgiveness too. They talk about the Bible, how vengeance is not theirs, it's God, So it was also important. They felt like, let's watch it a little bit. Oh, this is the video of the book signing today. The president leading the effort with some government officials to do the book signing, book of condolence. So, guys, there you have it. The president visited the family, and today they had a book of condolence signing with several government officials, and with the family there. In I mean, this is from what I saw from the family home yesterday. A lot about forgiveness was talked about, and unity. Well, talk about and how it's important to bring our country together to move forward. It been, I think, after President Trump, it's been about 45 something, 40 years or so, 45 years, and that it was important that these things happen because the way he was buried too. I know people are making fun of the burial thing. Is like the life and stuff in the country now, and they're looking for Stephen A. Benson, family now. So, I got a bit. Like people don't take anything seriously, but but I think these people that was murdered and did not have a proper burial, especially him, President Tober, I think is really important that that happened. So, and the family was very open. They was very, welcoming the idea. They were happy. They wanted to bring the whole idea about Liberia being united and all of that. So, Mr. Arthur, do you think with this whole exercise, I know it's fun and opposition had their saying, even though some of them is only politics, they don't believe what they're saying, but they in your own, let's take off the politics, the hats and all of that, party hats and stuff like that, and be honest about these things. Like, what do you think this is like gonna do for our country? You think it's important for our unity and with all these bad blood after the Civil War and other families looking at other families with this kind of eye? You think it's a good thing that the president is doing to stand as the middleman to try to bring people together?
For me, I think the intention is good, but the the way it's been done and the timing it's been done, I think it's not going to help. I must sincerely say,
What do you mean the way
because
it's been done?
this you have processes here. You have processes here.
Hmm.
The president we had election.
Welcome to the show, Mama.
The
Okay.
election was very close. It was very close to the extent that that the voter population was divided in the middle. Those who voted almost in the middle,
Mm.
and the government now took and the larger side. So after the election, what we expected that the president tries to bring all the opposition and other people who supported him to see how they can first of all prove to the whole world that we are moving at a united front. So when you see that united front, then we'll go to the other things. So you start to see that when he's doing it, it's not just about him anymore, but rather it will be about the entire country. And the leaders will be there. The former president, Madam said, the former president, George Manawia, and other people will be there. But this whole barrier thing is all about believing that you can use it as a political tool. And some people notice that the sincerity is not in it. It undermines the purpose. He will do
So,
all he
Mr.
can.
Arthur, I got.
Yeah.
Let me ask this: are people insinuating his sincerity, or how do you know the sincerity of the president? And after an election, is the opposition supposed to be? I mean, after the speech the president gave at the inauguration of people coming together, and now let's try and build this country. Now let's try to move this country forward. Isn't that enough? Is he supposed to be babysitting the opposition and bring Yaka, Yada Kumaya, and some in other countries after the election? The inaugural speech is enough. We don't see the president going around to every party headquarters in our country and trying to sending people together. That's not how it works. So why is Liberia? Why should we be so concerned about opposition? How they feeling? Oh, they feeling bad. Oh, they ain't feeling bad. Oh, why can't they think about that country and make it about the country now? Why are we still on this? Somebody got defeated narrative.
But maybe see, I don't know if you follow the 2017 election. After the election, the number one thing the former president tried doing was to do all he could to visit now the president, visited his home, told him that we have to work together. Even if after the election we realize that yes, the president is a big brother, call your younger brother, talk to him. Oh yeah, you conceded. So let's
That's
try
his
to see.
son.
Can you
That's
come
not
and
his younger
visit
brother.
me?
That's his son.
Now I'm saying it's his son. Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, so call him. Say, look, can you please come and let's have a team meetings or tea break or whatsoever. That's the respect part of it. But it's easier, but winner takes all. And then you're thinking that other people will just sit down and will not protect their dignity, and then they will just walk into anything you see, everybody in front of you. I don't think it is happening because on the overall, if you cannot reconcile the living, but you want to use it there to reconcile, it's a problem. And I can tell you, genuine reconciliation in this country will require sincerity, and the president must take the step. For me, I don't think he has done enough to reconcile the living.
Thank you. So sorry. From what we just heard, Mr. Arthur said, do you think the president supposed to, after election, or you being in the country, you seen how we move after election in this country? Is it? I mean, should the country be held back because another person got defeated and the person who won did not go to the house to drink tea or did not? I mean, is that a requirement? Or did a person we are just do that because he felt that in our culture, this is an older man. This is his father. He just had to pay a visit to. I mean, do we expect to see President Bouaga put his old wife in the car to go to President Weah? Is that what our culture? Take politics out of it. Is that what it's about? If he doesn't do that, then the country is not yet united.
Well, the issue about reconciliation is a whole process, and when you're a leader, you take the more weight especially for a country we consider President Bouaga to be the father of the nation. He take
Mm-hmm.
more weight when it comes to reconciliation. But one thing people forget about is reconciliation is a process that should be accepted by both sides. And
Absolutely.
I've been recognized, I've been forgetting about some of these things. I think we have to bring it to the light. I cannot say I want to reconcile with Amy if I had a dispute or if Amy is not, welcoming the reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
And we can vividly talk about some instances. And I'm not implying to say Mr. Weir was engaged and he did not accept any reconciliation. But there are instances that you and myself can sit on the show and talk about. I think there was a program here in 2023, but then we had a show on the Spoon Listener, and some of us talk about general reconciliation, wherein we should even have politicians, Mr. Comey, all those folks coming from all over to attend a particular program. I think that program was uh Independent Day or one of the program that
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Weir was even invited on. They said his title as former president was not even given to him, so he did not attend that program. I think when anybody can retrospect, that argument was all running play that his title as former president, his out of the doctor that he got honorably was not added to the invitation. He did not attend our program. So the issue about reconciliation, and I think in my mind, those were petty things to have rejected the invitation because it did not appear on the invitation as being former president. Somehow from that it could have been corrected and apologize to him when he.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of ways he could have attended that program and got that thing done. But the petty politics, like you talk about Liberia, and I think people all want to drive up from the issue about rewriting our history and trying to include things that other former presidents forgot about. We want to thank the president for doing this because it is all about restructuring our history because we just don't want to look at this from a political aspect. Now, we had the then president Doe who left passed away, and his on the program was high. They had a program, and everything was cool. The president talked within his wisdom as the head of the state to actually carry on another program and rebury another president that was brutally murdered, that did not have the kind of a barrier that he should have had as a statement. If we're saying these things come out, people want to politicize it. I think that's the country you've been saying for us. But let's forget about the politics. Let's look at the holistic aspect of the whole issue about reconciliation. Like I said, reconciliation should be acceptable by both sides, not just one side. Now, people want to argue that yes, President Bouaga should take the lead. President Bouaga should have gone to President Weir to do all these things. But I mean, we can preach our politics. We can say all of the necessary things we want to say. What are the sincere messages and honest message that we send out there in regards to how our country made progress? We are being hateful. There are a lot of things that you can agree with me. You are not seeing people in your other country just wake up a day. I urgently want for this country to burn out because the party that is in power, they are not my party. And
Right.
people see all sort of the democracy on Facebook. Nowadays, you will not see Liberia. We have a lot of power on the social media to put our country, to put a good image of our country out there. But we're not doing it because of our petty politics. You see people going on social media saying all sort of things. And that is not in this era. This has been something that has affected Liberia. So reconciliation is a whole process, and it comes with different, format. You could just wake up one morning. I mean, like usually Facebook, I say, "What is on your mind?" Liberia is on my mind. Liberia is a very good place to go. That encourages another person. You got a lot of followers. That encourages another person to go to Liberia. You talk about people having investment, and investment will not just come to country just by you sitting there saying all sort of things, doing all sort of derogatory things about your country. People want to see the good image of your country before they go there, right? So that has been an old age problem that we always face. Reconciliation is a very good thing, and I know people always come to get their own side of the opinion, which is their right. There's a constitutional right, but let's look at Liberia from a whole holistic perspective. We
So
pray that the
sorry.
president could go far. Somebody want to say? Yeah, come in. You want to say something?
Yeah, so with this whole, the president going to talk to the families of these, bereaved or ex presidents and stuff, and the way it happened, he going to the Dole family, and I'm pretty sure the Dole family having to be the first because the first lady, former first lady, passed away, so
Yeah.
they just had to do everything together. But I think it was Turber that was supposed to be the first, and that's why the whole thing swing like that.
Hold on, yeah.
But yeah, so the president going there and talking about, like we said, he's the father of the nation, right? He's the one who's supposed to take the initiative and do these things. Those former presidents was there, they did not take the initiative, right? To do this. He's doing it now. These people, I'm pretty sure they are sending invitation to former presidents, right? Should the president be held accountable? Because former presidents, well, like the Dole thing, we seen President Weah was all involved in it, right? Even though he had his own little scuffles with the family, that's why he did not attend, maybe, but he was all involved with it. So the president should, does that mean because he was not there, or if he's going to talk to these family, he's all to say, oh yeah, can I go? Let go talk to these people so you can be involved. So it can be that winner take. Of course, in a democracy, winner take all. Winner takes all. That's what we say. The winner has to be the one to any bad thing that happened in this government. They're not going to President Weah. They're going to President Boycott. This is his administration. Any bad thing that happened in it, he's going to take the credit for it. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're going to put these things together, should he be having the president, former presidents behind him before it be seen as a sincere gesture, like Mr. Arthur was saying? Or he has to go and do this thing, and then after it, the programs are the one that you invite these people to.
Well, I don't know where the argument is coming from, but I don't really think it should be like that because yes, the government initiated, right? Having former president, we are there. We be at the will of the current president. I don't think it's an amendment or any usual tradition. But someone want to argue, maybe you want to get to a reconciliation. What I want us to do for the conversation is not to drag it from it being president, former president Weah and that of Joseph Boakai, because I think I'm not in the mind of President Weah, President Boakai currently, but I think he's doing this from a very sincere background because we have had president upon president that have never thought about days. And when you see the president during days, people want to question it no matter what you do. If even you bring in job from the sky to carry on this process, and even maybe having President Weah, the people want to question it. What did President Weah say when he was invited to have just do 2 or 3 minute video for the permanency? He said he came out
Right.
another political statement that his former official has been marginalized, had they been taking the code and all this stuff. So
Yeah,
people
I
will
really
always
hope
intoxicate.
so. I thought was here to that you brought
Yeah,
that
people
point
will
up because yeah.
yeah, people will be toxic with politics because they don't want to see that broad perspective. And at the end of the day, it is not about your feeling. I
No.
can always tell anybody, like bro, making progress is not about your feeling. It is not about your attachment to political party. Because at the end of the day, the very political party you are part of, you're not even seeing yourself part of that political party from a broad perspective as to how the political party is structured. Most of them, they are not even prioritizing your political party, but they just talk for them because they want to. And at the end of the day, they're not seeing the other. So back to the topic. And I think somebody want to argue, can the president do furthermore on the issue of a reconciliation? I want to agree to it and say yes. We
Yeah.
need to have more inclusive reconciliation. That is, like we saw, then the CDC tried to do something, but I don't know how that ended in. But then some of the recommendations that were even made by our political leader, by then, Mr. Alexander Kumi, I think they called it the
You should
Coca-Cola
go touch
economic
about water.
advisor that he gave based on suggestion that he gave to that particular program. And I think we need to have the kind of an inclusive program where you have inclusive economic dialogue or inclusive reconciliation dialogue where you having political party leaders from all over, from a more holistic aspect as to get into a conversation for our country. The issue about politics, CDC, United Party, ANC,
Yeah.
CMC. I mean, it's not helping on anymore in any
Thank
way.
you. Sorry.
It's important we have, more
I just
together.
wanted to give our
One
following, but
second.
I just wanted to give
Let more come in when you have a 30 second. So one more.
all right.
What is going on?
Hmm.
We see it to be
It's
important.
a whole it's a
It's,
whole lot.
we see it to be important and something. Should we drag in the whole CDC got defeated, so CDC need to be included, so CDC can feel good. I mean, do we need to bring up that argument, or should we be looking at the fact that this is happening for Liberia? And sometimes some people even think that because these things had not happened, that's why Liberia is not really advancing the way it should be. So should we be looking at it as from Liberia, from our country, better for the betterment of our country, or should we be looking at certain political leader feeling good or political party feeling good? I mean, come on, tell me what's your take?
I mean, the fact that the issue of this whole barrier has become political just sort of disgusts me when I hear the guys from the other side try to politicize this thing that should be healed by all Liberians. This is the beginning of national healing.
Mm.
Joseph Yuma Borga, in his wisdom, have seen a clear opportunity to bring this nation together. And this is the beginning of that process
Mm.
of national healing. It started with President Dole and his wife. This week, we're going to have the burial of President William Ira Tolbert. And I learned that it's also going to extend to the 13 men that were killed on the pole.
Awesome.
They're going to have that. Yeah, it's going to be joint. I think it's going to be a joint burial, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is something that should be healed by all Liberians. You know, it has to start from somewhere. Just because you miss out on an opportunity doesn't mean you should try to sort of water down the effect of this process that is bringing our nation together. The process of nation building starts with something like this. In order for us to move forward as a nation, it has to start from here. And I even
Mm.
want President Barker to even go further, right? After this, I want President Barker to maybe change certain holiday in Liberia, the Decoration Day to Memorial Day, where we memorialize, we have a day of memory
Well,
of all.
remember, isn't that what is it called, the Decoration
The
Day?
Decoration Day is to go and, memorial, clean your grave, and also memorialize your, in memory of your family member. You go and spend a day with them. So I expect him to, to even push it further, right? And make some holiday, change it, not to change it, but let it stay on that March 15th, but change it to something like Memorial Day, where we have Memorial Day on March 15th, where and then he should also again go further, right? For all the victims of the war, right?
March 15th is Ginger Rogers' birthday.
Whatever, uh uh some
That's
kind of
my mom's
birthday
birthday,
is
so I
it?
know.
Okay, so yeah,
I think
but
it's
yeah,
second Wednesday in March. You got
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Every second
So
Wednesday in March is
so
decoration.
and I also want the president to go further, where he can also uh build a national memorial
Mm-hmm.
to for the, that will that in where in that we can have everyone who we lost during our senseless civil war, right? The 250,000 plus lives that we can memorialize them on using that national memorial. We'll find any site to build a huge memorial where we can inscribe the names of people who family member died, or that
Do
can
you
remember
think we know the
whoever.
names of everyone?
I'm not saying the president know the name, but I'm talking about they can family member can come out, people can come out, right? But it's gonna be symbolic, right? It's be something that we can look to on Memorial Day and lay wreath, let the torch or something that we can commemorate that day and remember those that were lost during the Civil War, right? We already have the Tupelo massacre a
Memorial.
site where there's a memorial that's already built there. So we could find another site where we could build another huge memorial, right? Where we, or remember those that we lost, during the Civil War. So this is a step in the right direction. But
Right.
I'll be say about someone President Weah, right? President Weah is like this, we need to create we need to form what we call an adult daycare for Weah,
Let's not,
because
let's not do
I
that. Though.
don't the level of tantrum shown by this guy, look, Suarez just mentioned something, he struck a key point where President Weah was invited uh, about the Security Council, right? The non-permanent seat. They asked that he join, the
Yeah,
campaign
he
to
refused.
promote Liberia for this non-permanent seat. You know what President Weah said? President Weah has said that the country here, the government are not respecting the rule of law. They're taking all our the opposition, especially the sedition, locking them all, taking them to jail, to kinds of thing. He's totally like had total disregard for the process. How then do you think? Do you think you expect President Boakai giving a respect to him as the former president or join it? A letter was written to him. What is it about this title thing that I don't understand about Liberia? Is that people focusing on the most important thing? I mean, focus on the key objective, right? But they focus on, oh, there was no former president title hooked up to his name. There was not doctor. Even the thing that he never even went to school, but people did those courses for him anyway. We know that. But
Oh boy.
so we are now focused. Look, this president has started something that years from now we'll look back. He's stamping his legacy. This president, right? We are miss out on the opportunity. Even recently, when they were burying, having the funeral for Nancy Bido and her husband in Grand Jide. Who said we could not be there? We are live when he went to Mamido and the rest of the people that he wouldn't be in town. He was traveling, right? He said he was traveling and that he was sending his entire crew. According to him, quote unquote, y'all will fee me. That kind of gangster way of talking, loose way of talking as a former president. You're not even able to speak like that. But anyway, we accept him for that. We lower the bar for men like we are, right? So he went there and said, I will send my whole crew, y'all will fee me. You
Yeah,
guys
go
will
on.
fee me.
Hold on.
That was his
Yeah, go
words,
on
right?
there.
Not mine. Sorry. You got heard. I'm the only one that heard that comment he made. Man, but guess what? To my dismay, was in town that day at Cloud Marie Weah occasion. How could you do that? This man who sort of opened you up to the rest of the world, that you had a talent, a God-given talent. No one dispute that.
Do you think he was now he didn't feel welcome from the way the daughter reacted? Is that why he
No,
didn't
no,
feel?
no, no. That was prior to his daughter, the daughter action. That was prior to that. He when he spoke that he wouldn't be there. But that time, he had not sent a cow yet. He was speaking that he wasn't going to be in town. He had an engagement. He was traveling, but he was going to send. He was going to send his able lieutenants, and they were going to fill him. But guess what? On the day of the funeral, Buea was right in Monrovia, celebrating Clam Mary Weah, something that she never, something that they're not, something she acting like something that don't that does not even belong to her, right? Acting like it's her, however way that one would be adjudicated, right? So we look to the government to investigate that. But what I'm saying is, for Weah to not go to President Doe's funeral, to me again was another lost opportunity.
Yeah.
What's his name talking about? Reconciliation. How Baka should go to Weah house. They should roll red carpet for Weah. Everybody should get on their knee and bend over to Weah to tell Weah that we need you. Come on, boy. We beg you. No, it's not going to happen. We're not going to
Yeah.
dwell on that. Those kind of politics you guys want to play with this. We don't have time for that. We are on the path to healing our nation, and we're going to move forward. It has started already. We're going to continue on this trajectory. We're not going to sit there and my petty citizens sit here and say, Baka trying to score political point. What is politics? What does politics have to do with this? What? There's no politics in this.
Thank
It's
you, Mama.
no. You get a minute, much time. I sat down here, a minute, or talking. You just come here.
Call you up.
Amen.
I said
Amen.
thank you. I'll call you up.
So
But go ahead, Len.
so the fact that seditionists will sit
Mhm.
here and say, Baka trying to make this seem, make it look like it's all about him. It's just not true. It's just not true. What the Baka tend to give on it? This is all about our country coming together, our nation healing. We should be happy for this. We should all unite. This should have been apolitical. This is why could have, gone over and then give a tribute,
Mhm.
eulogize his father in a way that no one else could, because he had a personal relationship with this man. But unless that you're sitting here, right in Morovia, doing all kinds of things, we are as like a child. He look, this guy keep what we like bring man call. That guy keep grush. There's some fifth grader. This guy can cut off speech from people that some kind of Jew. And this is just not right for our country. We need a guy like we are, who is a former president of our country, to get on board. Let us all put hands together for nation building. And it starts with national healing. That is reconciliation. It's a restoration of friendly relationship. We should restore friendly relationship in our nation. We are all our own brother's keeper. Let us rise up to the occasion, because Liberia is all we have. Like, we want Liberia to become that city, that shining city on top of the hill. That Liberia should be revered in West Africa, in Africa at large. Just
So,
stop this politicking,
Mama,
man.
Mama, you think we are the one who come out with all of these, separation and divisiveness in the country, or you think it's his followers? Because
Look,
before
look,
we are come out and say anything, that the followers are the one who are out here and trying to, prefer these things. Oh, they didn't do
look.
this, they didn't do that, they didn't put the president in on the golden chair, they didn't put it. I mean,
No,
you think
no,
we are the
Amy,
one doing
Amy,
this?
Amy. I put this quality on Weir, right? Look, let me tell you, has the one of the biggest platform in
Mm-hmm.
in the country. We are action can drive other things within his ranks and his party.
Mm-hmm.
If we has set the right example and said, look, enough is enough, enough of the politics.
Mm-hmm.
This right here about Samuel Kanyado, he's my father. Nancy Bido is my mother.
Mm-hmm.
You quit all that politics. I don't want to hear none of that again. When it comes to this man, we have to join forces with this government, whether they like it or not. I'm going to own up. I'm going to own this funeral. This is my funeral. I'm going to be a part of it, whether President Bwaka likes it or not.
Yeah.
This is so dear to me. If I don't do this, I won't for the rest of my life, you know, be able to look at myself in the mirror without being guilty. This is
And then,
my stuff. And let Weir go there, go to that funeral with his entourage, and then let's see whether I was going to see whether Joseph Yuma Burger was not going to find a space in that program for former President Weir
yes, we're
to
gonna do that.
eulogize his father. Then I was, the partisan. We don't pick and choose. Bwaka does that. I'll be the first person on the show to condemn his action. But you sat there, never attended the program, stay in Monrovia, having another program at your Clyde Marie city of whole city of crap.
That could have been held
Yeah.
another time.
Yes. He should have told his wife, look. On this day, they are burying my dad. On this day, they are burying my mom. Look, this thing can wait for another weekend. This is important to me. This is the moment I lost. Look, I lost on this opportunity, and President Barker is doing this. I must thank President Barker for picking this up and go there and eulogize your
Mhm.
father. But for citizens to be sitting here and want to politicize it, look, gentlemen, I know you guys are frustrated. I know you guys know that 2029 will be too hard for you because it's a step that President Barker is taking. Is like you guys have already started jittering. We should not focus on election. Let's focus on how
That's
we can
what
get
I was
our
just about to ask that. Is this focus on so much on 2029, making a lot of things
exactly.
out of our country that we're not thinking on the growth and development and the good things that are happening. Everything now we hear is just 2029, 2029, 2029.
They are so much fixated. No, the fact that they are focused on 2029 shows you that these guys don't have this country at heart. They are only into it for themselves. They're only into it to clinch onto power, like because the money they've already stolen, many of the money, those monies have already probably gone. So it's finishing or something. But now they are focusing on how they can clinch onto power again to do further sin. But like Liberians are not stupid, right? Josh Weah to in closing, Josh Weah,
Yeah, Blikos.
Josh Weah missed
So,
out on a
so back
huge
conclude.
opportunity for 6 years. For 6 years, he sat there and never did what he's supposed to do. What he did not do is what Joseph Yuma Baka, in his wisdom, is doing for the country. I don't think it should be political. I think Seditian, Weashin, or ANCNs, CNC, but I know the Jack coming home. I ain't know that. I ain't know what. So everyone, it should be an all hands on deck approach as we continue to bring our nation together in the process of reconciliation. Let us all continue to coexist. Let us love Liberia. Let us think Liberia, and together we can build a beautiful nation. I
That's the
rest.
slogan that Mr. Arthur he had come to you with. Tell us like that's the slogan that Mr. Arthur did not want to accept. Let us think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia. That's the slogan of unity, if you ask me. But so yeah, with all this being said, Mr. Arthur, they has the our fellow panelists here had named some things that Mr. Weir was invited, was respected as an ex-president. But he disrespectfully, let's say he disrespected the former president. I mean, the now president now, and rejected some of those things. And we are want to be the one to detect now how the president should run his administration or his government or whatever. Why he's being invited to some important occasion out of respect, he turned it into politics. Like Unification Day, when he was the president called him and text him. What did we do? There's coming together like was that something like the president is the only one. Yeah, he's the father of the nation. Yeah, I have to put a phone call, but he cannot go on the other side of the phone and push the guy here on his phone to say answer or redial that number. This is your father. Put politics aside in our culture, right? So you're making it look like this president is not trying. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. Let's see that Suarez said. Unifying, all uniting, all reconciliation is both sides. One person cannot do it. The other person cannot be trying, and the other person be thinking, say, I'm too big for it because you're not doing this, so I'm not coming there because you're not doing that. No. If you have a problem, you go to where you're being invited. And while you're there, going forward, you put your disagreement or whatever, you put it on the table. But if you're refusing an older person like that in our culture and society, and I'm pretty sure, Mr. Alta, you're tradition man, you will know that. If I'm wrong, let me know. You will know that in our society, let's put all politics aside. When the older person call you or invite you or ask you to do something, you don't just come in the public and start, making fun of his phone calls and stuff like that, and you every time you mix it about this person, because when you're talking about former president coming together, nobody's talking about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. All we talking about is George Weah. should Liberia not move forward because George Weah got beat in 2023 election? Mr. Arthur, you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think our brother Mumbo Tamba, yeah. Uh, you know, Liberia is one of the countries where where people who win after winning and they're just angry. And I
Okay.
think it's not going to help. It's not going to help. If I were part of any group to advise the people in the Unity Party, what I would tell them is that when you win, you celebrate. Don't be angry. We come on this show. We don't call the current president names. We have the right. I have the right to be vocal, yeah, and and see a lot of derogatory things about the president. But I think in my mind that is not helping the conversation. Calling the former president all kinds of name on the show, I think it's not making any sense to me. Because in my mind, I can tell you what the former president has been able to do for a whole generation, the progressive movement, even some of them, the Givers Backers Matthew, were not able to do it. I can a lot of people will wait until when the history is written. If the former president was not going to come into politics, what we have in this country was going to be, like we can say in our Liberian way, it's going to be fee. We're just going to be
So
about
gonna be
violence.
what?
We're just going to be about fish eat fish. When the water get muddy, it's just about fish eating fish because there is no way that the CDC that I know, the young people that I know, bursting with ideas, want to make themselves known, want to do some of the things that Costa and Yeke Kolba. Who told you that? When the Costa, Yeke Kolba, other people in the country here, and they got young people in this country. When they start hitting things here, all will know. But you constantly telling them you have to be a lawyer opposition in the country. You don't have to just be on the radio and everywhere trying to be angry and thinking that and the country must fail, people must come down. Teach my happy. You have to be moderate.
Mr.
And
Arthur,
you
you
see,
consider
it's gonna
CDC?
conversation happen.
Do you consider CDC as a lawyer opposition, a lawyer to Liberia? You think they
Yeah,
are?
but if you look at CDC today, if you look at CDC today, the first I've not seen any opposition in this country that is behaving the way CDC is behaving. No opposition.
You're right.
Just
I
your way.
agree with you.
You guys were in the Unity Party, for example. You guys were in the Unity Party. Yeah, we saw both of the talk shows. We knew the kind of way you put doing things. After the election, the former president called political leaders. I can tell you, never did I see the current president attending any of the program. Never. All the programs that were organized, political leaders there, conferences about this year, the current president did not attend any. Besides the former president visit to his house, he did not attend any national program. I did not see him and the former president together.
Was there
Then you
invitation?
come here, you want
Was there
to
invitation?
okay, no invitation. No, okay, no invitation was sent to him, but he did not attend any.
Okay.
Never. We did not even see him. The reconciliation he's trying to preach today, we did not even see him doing anything to reconcile this country. He had to go on protest grounds, supporting protests. We saw him how Costa and other people they get called by them insulting, doing all kinds of things, butt naked and doing all kinds of things. He was just there mute. But what I would say to you people is that the president, in my mind, like I said, it's a good thing for us to do, but the president is not sincere about what he's doing. If you really look at it, he's not sincere. He's trying to find ways that there are a lot of economic issues in this country. Like I told people, how will we be talking about A, B, C? We reach a D, which is development. Manaseri King, Manaseri focus on development. And the former president, we had development. Now, the party is there. We say, let's go to E. Let's focus on the economic issues and solve some of the economic problems we have in the country today. The level of hardship in this country. They say, no, why that development? You go to South East Road, you go to the other road. You focus only on development and you say, there is no major thing about moving this country. You want to reconcile this country, the first thing you reconcile is Let people see that there are things on the way. I know to solve some of the prayer about the issues, but nothing like that. And you're talking about you reconcile the people.
Can we
It's
do
difficult.
can the president do two things at the same time, Mr. Arthur? Or should we just focus on one thing?
But if you want to, if you are if you're president today, most of the road projects then, but at the time he started the Lofa Road. The former president, we are already started continuing with Lofa Road. All right. The former president, we have started, the road going to Kranjide. All right. The current president is there now. Yeah, he's trying to focus on it. Why can't we focus on some economic issues? What are some of the economic plans that by next year we'll see this kind of job being created? We'll see this kind of companies coming in this country. Agriculture, we'll see this one, we'll see that one. And most of the companies you're talking about, when they come into the country, they take 2 to 3 years before you can even see something's happening. I can tell you, you come in the country, you see absolutely with the USAID program, everybody out of job. With the other major programs, everybody out. So the tension is in this country. So if it feels that, we're burying people, we bury the other person, then people will move their eye from the economic issues and say, we're focusing on the president reconciling.
Mr.
I
Arthur,
think I was trying to get full.
Mr. Arthur, if you don't have good roles, you don't have united country. You don't have you want investors to come in. Investors come in, they got to travel to those counties. They got to even the ordinary people they need farm to market road. They are planning, they are making farms. They need to get to the market. They need to do. We saw it on the former president. We are car getting stuck in the mud. People go stay in it, get rotting. Ambulance getting stuck in the mud. Pregnant women dying in it. You don't think that's something important that you can also take care of? I mean, and it's not you mean to where they had it, and the ordinary people were having these problems still. You expect person to walk out to leave it right there, and then try to encourage investors to come in, and then the ordinary people still having these problems, and then these people come in. There's no infrastructure. There's no good infrastructure. There's no electricity. There's no roads. There's no internet. Something. None of that. And you think that's going to help our country? That's how our country is supposed to move forward. To abandon these little things that you're supposed to do first before these things come in, and then it becomes more easier for them. You're telling us that the president should abandon those things. He should just go ahead and bring. So what if they ask about these things? Does your country have these things? What do you want the president to tell those people that he's going to talk to bring in when they ask him about these low infrastructure development and stuff?
Look, let me tell you something. Nobody will tell you that the current government brought any company from anywhere to build road in the country. All the corrupt companies we're talking about are the same corrupt companies still managing the roads. All the major roads around here. None of those companies have been prosecuted for all the allegations that from the part out. But I just want to tell you, one thing I want to tell you that
you say he should abandon those things that he's doing and bring companies in, bring investors in, and bring that
was not what I told you.
Now what you said?
I said. Maybe you not listen. I said we counting economic issues. Yes, I'm saying accountability issue has been there before. All right, the fight of corruption has been there before. Now you're talking about A, B, C, D. Development is there. I don't care what you do. Development will still be there. Yeah, I'm saying this current government have projects going on. I don't care what the government can be focused on. Projects are still here going on. They'll create new projects will still be going on. But let us focus on the economic issues. Anytime it comes to argument or discussions or any conclusion, just forget about the economic issues and focus on that of the development component. And I tell you, you cannot win. You can't win that other discussion. When we want to reconcile this country, we must focus. The number one priority of this government now is to focus on the economic issue. Tell us by next year time like this, these are the things that will be happening in the country that will be able to change the lives of our people economically, bread and butter issues. Companies, how many companies are coming in this country? How many new NGOs are coming in this country? Nothing. You just hear talking about road, we got connected one, we not connected one, but the roads haven't connected. I mean, we cannot be able to massage the economic issues in this country. It is a serious problem. If the people are
Uh,
not economically in power, you cannot reconcile them.
I do understand that, Mr.
Amy,
Arthur, but this is why we're asking you. But you dodged the
Amy, let me
question.
jump in real quick.
Once
No,
again,
I'm not
Vote
saying,
Farrakhan.
all right, I'm not saying that you may abandon the project. I'm saying that development is already going on. Nobody will argue here that the former president did not build roads yet. If the former president was now going to build one piece of road in Nimba, it was going to be difficult for people to reach where the road is. Today in Lofa County, the road almost reached Salaye. Today, you are continuing to go to Zoso. You think if the former president now want to build a road to carry to Salaye, almost Salaye, you think you're going to go to Zoso with the road? Just
thank
stop.
you,
We should
Mr.
stop
Arthur.
discussing like this.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Arthur. So, Momo,
so Amy,
what? Let me answer my question.
Amy,
Government.
I want to, I want to lose my train of thought for I want to get quick. Seriously, look,
Go ahead now.
look. I don't even know how to start. I don't even know how to look. How could you divorce the two? Right? You're talking about focusing on economic issue. Then you say, what is development? How is development different from how is infrastructure development different from and different from handling economic issue? How is that different? This is look. When I heard Atos speak tonight, it just like how could you even say that? How could you even say that in a sentence? That Joseph Yuma Boaga should focus on economic issues, but forget about developing the infrastructure, developing roads, farm to market roads, our critical infrastructure that lead to job creation. This is something you are sitting on this platform. And you are talking about leave this one, but get one drives the other. If you don't know that, Arthur, road development drives economic progress. I don't know where you're coming from, though. But in order for the economy to work, you need roads to the farm, where you take the farm produce and bring those produce to the market. Why people involved? That's economic activity. When you connect road drives the economy. How you think when people make their farm, how do they take their produce from the farm to the market? When you take the produce from the farm to the market, they go and sell them, thereby getting money that they can use and spend it back into the economy that the economy runs, right? It stimulates the economy. So for you to sit there and say we are did this development, so has it ended?
No.
Government is continuity. When one government finish, where that government ended, the next government picks up and continue from there. This is exactly what the Unity Party is doing. But for you to sit on this platform and say the development already been done, what the development is done? What did
Thank you,
your
Momo.
president when he was going to campaign in the southeast? How did he go there? You tell me how he went there. Eh? The road, muddy road, the hometown 6 years. He could not even pave road down there. He could not even make the road pliable.
Thank
Couldn't
you.
even maintain the road. When he was going to campaign, he flew on helicopter to the southeast. And you want to sit on this platform, you say, we have been do development, if you do road, Look, man, come on, man. Sometimes sometimes you gotta have to be realistic way with your position, right? This everything is not just about politics or opposition. You just or because the war is opposition, because you are in opposition, you just oppose anything. I don't want to take out Swabby time, but I just want to let this guy know that one drives the other. Infrastructure development will move the economy, will help economic progress, will put money, roads will put money in the pockets of ordinary Liberians. It can create jobs. It will bring
Yeah.
company. Because once company you will have total decentralization, where companies can come to the country and settle in the southeast, settle in or Lofa, settle in Nimba, because they have roads going to those areas. So it drives decentralization. The government will open up, and there will be a lot of economic activity.
Thank you,
And you're
Mama.
saying that man. I mean, I want to sorry, man. I'm not trying to let my good friend
Sorry,
Arthur know.
it's all good. It's all, go ahead. Sorry. I mean, I don't know
No, but
how
that's
we
all right,
have.
Finny.
I
I was
don't
just
know how we
clarify
have
one or two things
pivoted
on that.
from. I don't know how we have pivoted from the unification, the unified.
Yeah, but I've always been
I
successful.
know how we come
And
from
sometimes you go for
president
it.
uniting
You
the
go for
country
it.
and going back and trying to sow some old wound, put some medicine on those souls so Liberia can move forward. Maybe this is
And
what we need for our country. Some of the bloodshed, maybe these things would be some kind of little relief for our country. I don't know how we came from there and come to
don't worry, don't
I'm
worry.
all the way.
I will
But go ahead,
definitely bring
sorry.
her back. I will definitely bring her back because, and you don't want to you raise there about the CDC. The doctrine sedition is drive composition from another angle to another angle. And when they succeed, they gain ground. But however, but I do appreciate you always for being on the show.
I know.
Not like other sedition who will be in the comment section, very being lazy and speeding out their anger there. And not coming here to say
I
what
like
they have to
that.
say.
He's staying here, ground.
I mean, we always appreciate you for that, right? I think that is about Labra. I've always said over the past period of time, no matter of your dissenting opinion on issues of economic issues of concern, but I think we are in it for Liberia. Now you scratch some points when it comes to talk about bread and butter issue, how we should have economic growth, but the government has priorities, and you don't want to. I mean, sit on a platform and disagree that the CDC as well has certain level of priorities. Because when you look at their PAPD document that is said was for the poll, we somehow disagree with, and we lamented on most of the things that we saw that had more leakage that was not prioritizing the poll, right? And you talk about taking 1 million people from poverty. There were no structure and procedure or implementation as to how these people were going to be taken out of poverty. We argued about then. And when you look at that PAPD document, there's a lot of priority that the CDC have. In the months of Liberia, it was not enough. It was not prioritized. It was not something that they gained fruit out of. So they take out the CDC. Now, you scratch the point when you talk about bread and butter. I argue the last, and I agree with you that we should have. I think we talk about business thing, monitoring process, and that looking at business thing that our people should have the means of one, because you not want to erase the fact, and you all want to agree as well that economic development comes with a lot of stretch. It comes with a lot of it comes to as I'm speaking to
Come
you.
on,
No,
John. We'll say, come on. Oh,
I'm not talking to
you.
I'm not I'm not speaking to you, but it's from a holistic standpoint. But I mean, you want to agree with me that economic development, we are infrastructure like Momo's crash. You talk about roads, you talk about connecting the country. I mean, it comes with a lot of things. It comes with a lot of scratch, facility. Now, looking at Liberia from a broad perspective, you want to agree and always sit on platforms that people are complaining, people are there. But you look at other countries that we want to reference. You will talk about Rwanda over there. You will talk about Ghana. You talk about other great nations. They went through a lot before they get there. Now,
Yeah.
I've always argued over the past period of time, and I want to agree with somebody who would say we should have president prioritizing business thing, because Liberia, when you look at our budget, before we come out with some of the argument, we should look at our budget. What is the size of our budget? How our budget has impacted our country? What are the more priority? Because when you sometimes look at government's budget, especially Liberia government budget, most of our budget is mostly squarely based on how the government should run. And we're not looking at most sector, prioritizing most sector like we
Yeah,
talk about.
recurring expenditure. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we talk about you talk about other sectors that we should be looking at as a government. Now, and you would not want to disagree that government should run, no matter how priorities other people get, because before we had the priorities being implemented, that our people need to work to do it. Now, I want to agree again with another argument that always Toure would talk about. Let us not make government more attractive. That is, we should cut down spending as to how we pay government officials and other folks out
Yeah.
there. So I mean, to make government unattractive, that there are sectors in government that I have always argued, right? I want to agree with you when you bring up an argument that agriculture has not been prioritized. Looking at the budget, even this year budget, or even looking at the day before yesterday, agriculture, one thing part of the agenda, has not been prioritized because when you look at the amount allotted to that sector, you think in your mind that I mean it's a fun in a little bucket that they're trying to give to that sectors because one thing I always say, Emmy and Momo and Ato,
I think we need to bring the minister on here.
and always to everyone, you will always agree with me that there's this saying that says if somebody's washing your bad things, you always be washing your front. And
Hmm.
what brings about somebody being serious to wash your bad is what you allot to that particular sectors. If we want to see China, we want to see Korea, we want to see other countries coming to our country to prioritize the issue of agriculture, I think that you see something that we should be doing that will reflect the minds or that reflects encouragement to come to our country. The last sector we can debate some allotment that has been done to them, but you want to look at how government has been in the past. And I mean, it's a good thing to always talk about the brand border issue, but you don't want to erase the fact that there are things that will make the brand border issue very smooth. We got a lot of challenges in our country.
Yeah.
Rules. The president has always talked about rules. I want to believe that the issue about rules, at least after his presidency, we should be remaining with something that 20 or 15% that other presidents should carry on. But I think we have to be connected when we talk about rule. And I think the government has some priorities, right? When we talk about some business things in the IRS agenda. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to
So
do one
it's
or
all
two
been my time, but I'll give
clarifications.
that man a chance to say what he want to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, Mr. Atakobi.
No, I just wanted to
We'll see,
clarify
but come
because
on here and start with our
I
Africa
think
side.
I think what Momo is saying. This thing is not just about some of us coming on the show and because we are sympathetic to the CDC's agenda or CDC's argument or the vehicle called the CDC, political vehicle called the CDC. So it means that people will come and try to, you know, demean or maybe denigrate us and say all kinds of different kinds of things about our thinking. I can tell you, some of us, the kind of role we have played at the national level, and the reason why we support the former president's idea about moving this country forward, it's just because of the behavior of some of you guys in those United States. And you think that people who here don't have the right frame of mind to think. So
No,
people on that
man.
side
Oh,
think
come
better
on,
than
brother.
people here
No,
That's
do.
not
man.
the
Nah,
That
nah,
should
case.
nah,
not be
nah.
so.
Don't
That's
carry the
not.
And
argument
I
that
and I
way.
see in the comment section some people who think that. So I just want to clear that.
People will say
The
that stuff, man.
reality here is
Don't listen to them.
nobody should tell. I am not telling anybody here that the development of rule is not an economic issue. I was saying to you that when we talk about the economic or the bread and butter issues here, road
Mhm.
is already a number one priority for the last two administrations. Manasali built the road going to Buchanan. What kind of economic issue on that Buchanan road? Manasali built a road from here all the way to Nima. What economic issue benefit Nana will benefit from that Nima road? All right,
What?
some are going to build a road all
Man,
the
they
way
man,
going
they
to
man,
to,
man,
to
you
the
taking my
place.
time.
What
Oh.
are they going to make issue? The what for?
I
I
know
mean,
once
keep
I'll be
more. I mean,
speaking.
come in, keep more.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
You
I
again?
thought I know once I'll be speaking. I get smart to talk, man. I got to talk it.
Yeah, no. So I don't want to tell you people that I'm not saying that we should forget about rule. What I'm saying is that we are already building rule as a country. It's a priority. It's not a priority. But the bread and butter issues that we should be focusing on about job creation. What are we doing to create jobs? We can just say we're building roads. And I think that what you guys are not understanding me.
Well, look, Arthur, job creation before jobs are created, the country has to be open up. And how does the country open up? It's through road connectivity. The road to development is the development of roads. In order to have economic activity in all parts of Liberia, you must have roads. Without road, you cannot have your bread and butter issues solved. The economy will not. I mean, it's realistic. The economy will not function correctly. Look, Dwight Eisenhower in these United States was the one who developed the highway system. Today, America, the country is connected. You see people, you see ground transportation. People are moving goods from one location to another. You see farm to market product. Walmart
Train,
moving their stuff from the farm
buses.
to the store. People are traveling from one location to another by road. Commercial or vendors people who are doing who are involved into commerce and other economics activities are moving, are going to Abidjan, going to other parts of the country, or even going to the if the road to the southeast, for instance, is is fully paved to the southeast. Southeast is known for coconut production. So if there is paved road, Afro road going to, I'm just trying to give an example to connect the dots that to show you how important roads could be in promoting economic progress in the country. So, for instance, if the road from Monrovia all the way to the southeast is paved today, the southeast is known for coconut production. Somebody from somewhere could leave from the United States and encourage a company. Look, let's go to Liberia. We have a certain section of our country that is rich in coconut production. They can so they can go and set up a company factory down there to do that will process the coconut to give them and set up a factory down there for value addition, not just to eat the coconut, but to make a pharmaceutical product out of that, to make lotion, to do all kinds of things, thereby creating jobs. Because guess who will be working in those factories? There will be Liberians from the southeast that are going to be working there, right?
Then get
How
all
would a
in work
company trans?
permits.
How would a company transport their product from the southeast back to the port, or from the southeast there to Maryland, Port Ohio? Is through the road. They have to be road connectivity because that's the cheapest form of transport.
Hmm.
Road. So you not as a business owner, you are into business to make profit. By so doing, once you set up a factory over there, you employ a lot of Liberians in the southeast. You put money in the pockets of ordinary Liberians. By so doing, they themselves will be able to pay their
Thank you,
children's school
Momo.
fee, have enough to pay their rent. You see, you see how the bread and butter issue is being solved. You see how things are coming together. This is what we're
Thank you.
talking about. You can some certain thing has to be prioritized first before the other thing can come to fruition.
Thank you, Momo.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say
And,
here.
and to add on to that, I think bro, after we got these platform, we currently platform, we supposed to be making our people to understand this. Like what Momo said, certain things have to be prioritized at first. Like we always been saying, all the other countries that we say, oh look at Ghana, oh look at and Rwanda, oh look at this. It wasn't done with food on everybody's table. Bread and butter were not on everybody's table when these things were going on. It comes with a little bit of pain. I know all Liberian people are not used to it, but we have to make them to understand that. If we just go bring somebody, Firestone there, Mental Steer is there, who else is there? Are their lives being everybody got food and something on that table? What about it? The ordinary Liberians that we have a lot of Liberians that who want to go back and do little businesses and stuff. They have to take care of all of that, all of those things, roads and electricity and all of those things. It's not just going to be big old foreign companies that will come and everybody will be working with those people. The roads that you're talking about, like road projects, were already been there. They were not done. They were not done at all. So it has to be. It has to continue. If you just somebody come and do some part of the road, and then the important part are just there muddy and nothing happening to it. Then you say, oh, because we fixed the first part, so let's just leave it. The part that you fixed might start getting going bad, and then what we doing? We're going backward. You have to get it done and finish with it, and then what and other things can be done while that is also happening. We can't just keep telling our people that, oh, what the government doing is not important. Let's focus on the bread and butter issue. Let's focus on the bread and butter issue. Why what is being done is connected to that bread and butter issue. Sanitation is also connected to that bread and butter issue. If you're sick, you're not healthy. Where you when you be laying in the hospital bed eating bread and butter, you have to be healthy. We have to take sanitation seriously. They're cleaning. All of these things that they're doing. It's important. We have to be on these platforms and let our people know that these things are important. That we cannot just dismiss them and say. And even this unity thing is part of. I was a brand, but because who knows? They're Toba. Some of them might be afraid that going back home to do what they want to do things in our country, but they feel like, oh, I'm not secure in our country. I'm not this. This could be something that open that door. That something like everybody. Who knows? The Toba family can see the Dole family and they can hug it out and have a conversation now because of what is being done. That is important for our country. We can't just dismiss those things and just be a bread and butter issue
Yeah,
all the
but
time.
Emil,
If
Emil,
we
Emil,
keep thinking about that brand, but I eat it like bro, it's not going anywhere. We have to tell our people that some we have to. It will be tough a little bit before it gets better. It's not just gonna get better overnight. That is a myth. That all even us sitting here to even think that it's not gonna happen. So we gotta be real when we come to these discourse and educate our people who don't know better. People that are sitting in the market that think that because the president said, "Oh, I accept," and suddenly I a new president, and all of a sudden the country will just flip, like
but Emil,
the
Emil,
diamond will just come on top. No, that's not how it works. It takes works before everything changes. It's not just
Emil,
gonna your hard time will not just change
But
overnight. Yes.
that the opposition do not want you.
Emil, Emil, Emil. The
There's
bread and
no one
butter
to
issue,
criticize you.
the bread and butter issue our friend Arthur is talking about. No one is sort of saying that he's not speaking on something that we all want to happen in the country, but certainty should be a priority first that drive those issues. Take for instance, the man water who is selling in the market in Douala needs to go to the to the farm to get her produce or whatever, and bring it to the market to sell. If there's no good road, do you know how much you will spend to get those produce to the market? It gets tougher. It gets harder on the consumer. We who working to get our little money to buy my water paper should increase the price, and then there will be the overhead cost even on my water that
Mhm.
will be stuck in the mud for days. That even sometimes she might not even make it to the market because her product might be destroyed for the amount of days that she spent on the road, but thereby losing everything that she ever labored for. So once you have road drives everything. So picking Yakba can buy a lake keke, he can take passenger from Ganta all the way to Zwedru in no time. Come by, you will do the 2, 3, 4, 5 trade, and that solves some of the bread and butter issue because you get money in your pocket. You'll be able to, the cost of transporting people will not be that difficult. People will be able to get on his motorbike here and there, back and forth. And the issue of even healthcare delivery without a good role,
One
people
second,
would
mama. Let me
die.
oh,
People
guys,
would die.
the number is on the screen. Whoever want to call in and put your 2 cents in this discussion that we're having right now. The number is on the screen is 267-586-5479. You can call us now and you know make your point on these topics. Go ahead,
So
mama.
that's why Joseph Jima Boga is prioritizing role. Role
And
with solve.
subscribe to our YouTube. Sorry, mama. Subscribe, share the show. So it's cheap. I mean, let me not say it's cheap. It's free. Sorry, it's
So
you don't have to
road
pay
development
for that.
until we get a call. Road development drives everything that you want. All the bread and butter issue, putting money into the pockets of ordinary Liberian. Road
Mhm.
development help to improve our healthcare delivery. When someone is sick, if we have better roads, it will it will decrease the mortality rate in the country. Because if you got to get the person faster on the ambulance to the hospital, our mortality rate will decrease. Infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, everything will decrease once you have good roads because you will be able to be on a harbor road, on a paved asphalt road that will get you to the nearby clinic faster. But if you have a road that just we were looking at 20 23 to go campaign on that road. Pregnant woman can give birth on that road. Pregnant woman could die on that road. That's what I was saying. In order for the bread and butter issue to be solved, we must have road. Road is one of the foundational aspects that drives economic growth. So we're not,
And
disputing that.
Let me, I think his time, he
the
completed his time, and then after you're going to leave, and then maybe give me time to do clarity because,
Go ahead,
uh,
Mr. The number is on the
yeah,
screen, guys.
Momo, I think the brothers are not sincere with the discussion. Nobody's telling you that rule is not important here. Because even some of you, when you were in opposition, when the former president was saying he's building roads, taking the road, going to Lufa County after the breaking ground, you see that road will eat, that road will eat, that sour road. What if you say all the roads the former president was building here, what is the new road that you people have started that different from the road that he was building? No new road. The Rawafi Highway was a same set of road, a same style, everything just continuing. The one going to Lofa, he started already carrying to the Salaye, just continuing. But I have to say the man, and I even start nothing. Not the insincerity in this country is what killing us. You cannot just say that we should focus only on road. So the one says that road, you can be focused on here. And the children will be here, nowhere to pay their school fees, nowhere to get job, nowhere to get other major things here. The hospitals today, they were talking about all kinds of things. Go in the hospital and see what is happening there. All I want should not be our focus. We just focus on road. My question is, the road that we are built up to Tapeta. So we get playing, so the government get playing nothing now from Tapeta all the way coming. The road of former president built that we took to Salaye. You know how far from Banga to Salaye? It's not a small distance. So no economic issue. No, we can build no factory along that road now. So I'm gonna wait for the reform first. The road that Maraseli built all the way going to Picana. So the current government cannot put an agriculture program or have a kind of plan. Let's develop a plan, an economic zoom, and say, look, we'll start producing, we'll start creating these things. The road we already have, we will continue the building of the road, but let us start to see the economy going. Let's try to invest into local businesses. But look at this current government. All the ministers get company. All the ministers, when I saw contract job the finance minister today, all of them they set up the new companies there. They take over those things there. All I bring stationaries, businesses that are here, printing businesses that were here before, where you'll be able to give to Liberians to get something. All the ministers and agencies today, those ministers, they get their own companies now that they are working with. So local businesses are closing down. Some people are not living in Liberia, but come and see, go and see. Even the nightlife, where you see clubs, booming. Go and see most of the places, most of them closing down.
No, not
Most
true.
of the pretty places are here, most of them shutting down because they're not getting the contracts.
Not
They
true.
want to leave everything on USAID project. It's not just about USAID project. This government is not doing well when it comes to solving the economic issues. The road is important. We can all focus on the road, but there are some other economic issues that we must be focusing on. Building small businesses, building the middle class. This government is not focused on those things. But right every day we hear road. Jella say, Jella wants to start the road from Morava here to carry all the way to Grand
I say,
That's
making me
because that's
laugh.
that thing. If we're not going to reach the road to Tapeta, how long are we going to take people to even take it to the Grand Gillette today and one post up? Just stop that. Let us focus on the economic issue. I can tell you no lie, my brother. The school year is about to open. Things are tough on the parents. We
It's
should
been
stop
tough.
playing fun about it.
You doing weird time was tough.
I know it's been tough, but let's solve it. Let's solve it. Stop the biggery. Stop acting away. Let's solve it. What is the plan? You people who are part of the rescue missionaries, just tell us a little about next year time like this. But after, if you don't want to attend the show, you don't attend. But next year time, then when you come back on the show, we'll tell you these are the things that you start to see. Let's try to start hoping for it.
We got 288 agriculture machine coming in August. Mark this show tonight. Mark this show tonight. Not yellow machine. 288 agricultural machines come into the country in August of this year. Market. This year. That excluded
No,
the
what
yellow
the
machine.
machine gun and what next? What is the agency set up? What is
Oh,
the agriculture bank
you
set up?
see again?
That when the
Yeah.
machine comes today, because you have to give a free
Sorry.
work. All the
Sorry,
machine
put
will be
up
done,
the
probably send the spare part every little guinea, send the spare part every little Ivory Coast. You think when I see yellow machine here, you know how many yellow machine man I said pour for all
I said that was
the
a
counties
different
for?
regime. Now Joseph
You know how
Lima
many
Bouaka
machines
is
are
the
the four
president.
president we have brought in this country today that we can see that most of the machines they pass are all around here. Then you come to talk about
So because of that, so
But
we
I
you know
thought
how
this
the
is a
president is not
different.
focused on agriculture
This
machine.
is a different administration, though.
okay.
Let's see what happens.
So because it was
But
wrong in
then
the past.
How come your
So
administration will not prosecuting government officials? This government is doing it,
but
so it's a
mhm.
different administration. So let's see
well,
what will happen.
even your staff acting that
my
man.
man,
Who
my
the
man,
government has prosecuted?
Arthur,
But wait, let me ask
Arthur,
you what you can answer. Who the government has prosecuted? Because if you talk about the 10 years plus, that all because a case must be 10 years. Who the government has prosecuted for Manasari town? Because you know
what?
Manasari,
No, it
almost
doesn't
4
matter.
years
It
plus
doesn't matter
we
what
have
My
that.
man, you
We have
don't
it.
tell us
Who the government has prosecuted for Manasari town?
It's
Who
not
the
gonna
government has
prosecute.
prosecuted for the
Arthur,
own government? Just tell
Arthur,
the thing. They're
Wait a
not
minute.
Arthur,
prosecuting nobody here.
Arthur.
Yes.
Me,
Wait a minute.
you will not be jumping at the conversation because I had a situation that can want to
Yeah.
distract people and don't want to
It
focus on
doesn't
the issue.
matter who
You
they
were
prosecuted. As
you
long
were
as
talking
government
about factory
officials.
coming, this and that. Let me name the thing that you guys lie about. What the hell factory?
Hmm.
What the hell
Guys, the
factory?
numbers are on the numbers on the screen, yo.
Where the airplane kick? Where is the airline? Where is the La Labrador Airway of
I
Benin?
like that campaign statement. You don't forget about
Where
that one. Campaign
no, they are
over.
not campaign. It will happen to the administration. Where is the
I like
Bali
campaign
Island?
over. Forget about that campaign
Where is the
statement.
Bali Island that we are went and cry on? Cry that day, put it in the air with someone yeah, orange vest on him. Where is the Bali Island? Are the Indians were coming?
Yeah, I don't discuss it. That campaign, a campaign time of all the
I'm
one.
not campaign. This is something that your
You talking
administration
about brand
lied
butter, you
about.
ain't talking about where is it one, where is it one.
Your administration lied about doing Indian hair factory. Headed by the first lady. He said like bring women in let hair. They said they're coming open hair factory. Where is it? You talking about factory? You
But
talking
man,
about a bread and butter issue? That the bread and butter issue you guys are trying to address when you guys
I
lied,
thought name me the
both
factory
face
I'm bringing
lied.
now. How many factories are employed in the country? Name your factories.
We just 1
Say
year
in 2
6
years,
months.
I see the number of factories.
We just 1 year 6
Or
months
1
in
year, 6
power.
months.
Yeah,
Name them. Name some things that are bringing the country to start
my
producing.
man,
When I
we
say money, that a short time.
we developing the infrastructure that will hold all of these development that are coming. The infrastructure.
So
You have to
And
have the
that's
what are
infrastructure
the
first.
that's not
infrastructure
the
for the
only thing.
agriculture?
And that's not the only thing that is going on either. It's not just road. There are a lot of things that are being done.
Electricity now stable. Look
May
at
not
you.
be.
Look at you in your place there talking tonight. Electricity is stable. In that you're
It
coming
has
with the
always been
argument
like that.
and say
Relationship.
you're coming
It has always been like that.
that relationship
Relationship.
argument.
Don't bring argument yet.
Wait, okay, then
Even
wait
not
to
necessarily relationship. You ask common librarian, they will tell you that current can go. But before relationship, current now used to go.
wait
For the last
tomorrow.
3 years, 4 years, it was like that. Anytime it is raining,
What you say?
no current.
Current
We
now
say,
used to go during your time. Your internet is feeling now you getting stuck because you're lying too much. Easy.
Yeah.
You enjoying the government store, you lying the government about the internet got something like which the internet got frozen. Because you are not trying to be sincere, my man. Be sincere
my
for
man, so long
once.
you're down there, you're not sincere, but what happened here, you're lying to us. We'll tell you people, we'll clarify those things. Electricity has always been stable
No,
during the
that
season.
not true. Not true.
It has always been stable. Ask
Not
people
true.
for the last 3 to 4 years or 5 years now, well, 2 years. The
What?
energy you're talking about, how many connect? Yes, I'm telling you.
One second, I got a call,
The
guys.
former
Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Bajibo Freeman. I'm watching from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, USA.
Oh, welcome, Baji Bill. What's on your mind?
Okay, I think I have 3 questions for my brother in a white t-shirt. So he
Who was
can
that?
do.
Momo?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
2
ahead.
over there. One in the other green t-shirt. 2 of them can answer the question, please.
Okay.
Okay. My first question here is,
Mm-hmm.
how he said that God marry we are big or trash. So, my question is, from Tommy time to Joy we are town,
Mm-hmm.
we shall the first lady ever get foundation in Liberia. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the role is important today to Unity Party, as they said. While we are a building road and they say that road will E. What make it important today?
You know the party said that when we are building roads.
Yes, they said
Yeah.
that road will E.
Okay.
Okay, then the last question is,
Mm-hmm.
which of the president from Tommy time
Mm-hmm.
ever pay university free and wire free? Let me do a research and tell me. I'm listening. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for calling.
I mean, sorry, you want to answer it or you want me to go? So look, listen, to the caller, right? That
Mm.
university free and wire free thing. Many of you guys don't understand, how
The scam cities.
that whole thing
That
went
make
on.
a new word, scam
That whole
cities.
thing was a scam. That whole thing was just total debt that we are left for the current administration to pay. There was no proper infrastructure laid, to handle that free tuition stuff. There was no proper planning. He just out of nothing just said, just do it. No, no, it was even difficult. It caused the university to be strangulated. So that whole issue about, the government since 1847, like the caller said, which one of the government stuff, it's not about because it hadn't happened before. That means
Mm-hmm.
you just come against on a vain a project or vain sort of policy that he brought about
Was it a
tuition free.
policy or
A program. The whole tuition free idea was not a bad thing, to be straight up with you, but it wasn't properly planned. It wasn't properly planned. If you look back, this administration inherited a lot of debt because of that free tuition stuff. And then he talked about what he call what was that? The
which
the
one the first lady ever had a foundation?
the foundation. The idea of I never said what she built was trash. I don't think he heard me. I never said it was trash. I said she got a foundation
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be under investigation. The idea was it's not a bad thing to give our children hope, to have a City of Hope
But
foundation.
one question: has any other first lady been given the money that Claudia was
No,
for?
that money that was given was, if Cloud Maria really loved like Liberia when her husband was playing soccer, because she want to own this foundation as hers. She doesn't want to turn it over, right? If you care about
So
Liberia the
that's a
most,
government project.
when your husband quote unquote had 84 million naira, like you guys claim you guys had, 1 million naira could even take care of that entire project. 1 or 2 million naira, that whole City of Hope could be built with $2 or $3 million. But your husband came to power. That's when you knew now, yeah, Liberian need this, Liberian knew that. You used the office of the first lady to lobby for money to come and build that City of Hope. That means it is for the country. It is not yours. Because had you not been first lady, I don't think you would have
No.
gotten that much support. Or maybe you could have done it as your own sort of, help to the country by before your husband became president, to use some of your son money. So the people we're not trying to say that foundation, though it's a good venture, but we are still here to find out as to whether the monies that were used to build that City of Hope. We just want to know
The
whether
budget.
it's her personal money or it was money that was brought in to the office of the first lady. And if it is through the office of the first lady, I don't think it's her personal stuff. That means that entire structure should be turned over to the government to run. And what does he say again? What was the last one he said? He said three things. I ain't know. I can't even remember the last one.
I think
Talk about roles.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah, he talked about role. He said Jawia was
When
we
he
said that
started
role would eat.
building,
Everyone's look, the politics about role is just all over the place. Every Liberian have their own opinion on certain things, right? Even today, the roles that Baka be building, they say that we are project. The same role that we are left somewhere, and Baka is a government is continuity. It's like when you finish, if I kind of work, Amy was on the first shift. When Amy leave first, I taking second shift. Amy attempting Momo. This is where I start. But I use the mop bucket. I clean the bathroom. Only the kitchen left now. So you were taking from the kitchen. That's how people when you go work for people. We can't leave what we are started and go do our own thing. I know why citizens don't understand this. Government is continuity. We
it's
can't do that.
right.
This is the same government. Once we are where we are left it, we continue. The difference between this administration and the we are administration is the fact that look at the East International. Honor we are in East International was going at a snail pace to fix the highway. But honor this administration because of leadership. Look how that project is moving fast. So these are two different things. One government was really serious, the other government was only thinking about Buga. This we are doing administration
Mhm.
while serious things were happening around the world. He was singing music, COVID was going on, solution was music singing. This,
The
this,
president said you use music to sensitize our people.
yeah. He
Yeah,
was
what's
sensitive.
that?
Yeah, he was. No, he said he was sanitizing, not
He
sensitized,
said
right?
you
He
use
said he was
music to
sanitizing the
sensitize
people.
our people.
So no, let us be serious here for once,
Thank you.
right? Let us be serious for once. To the caller, no one criticize we are say the road and everybody, like,
Well, maybe people
today,
did. You don't know. Maybe people
even
did.
Liberians today are saying that I seen comment that I mean Unity Party people said yesterday that
Yeah.
road will eat. Today, citizens are saying that road will eat. This and that. So this is how Liberians are. But until we see the true effect of road and what road does for a nation when it comes to economic growth, economic development. If you know the importance of road, you know how road
Give
can
me more.
open. Roads will industrialize a nation
Look,
quick.
I
So
gotta run.
I just want to call out to know that we
I
don't
think the
we
caller,
don't frown on that, and we want the country to do
the callers
further
something so
develop.
what do our closing? So what's that? Were you and stuff? I just saying you in Liberia on your closing.
Yeah, I need to go. I need to go.
I
It's
gotta
a little
run.
bit late, but
I thought
I think the show, yeah, is
enjoy
good.
your current.
I think the show is good. The show is good, but uh, there's something that I want all of us to understand here, and that is the hate. A hate produced. Malcolm X always used to emphasize about that. A lot of the people in the Unity Party, the level of hate they have for seditions and the former president, we are.
Would you
If
say that is
sedition,
vice versa too, Mr. Arthur? Or you think that's a one? What
no.
do you think? Because I see them
I
both
think
doing
I
it.
think I think if CDC seditions really hit Unity Partisans, when we took over the level at which people started running behind people in ministry agencies, some of us were, yeah, we saw it. I know I was never employed in a ministry or agency in Liberia, yeah, on a CDC. But I saw people who were unity partisan. They work on the former government. People knew them. They were openly discussing a unity partisan.
But
But nobody went after
you
them.
do have some people working on this administration too, right?
No, Tunisians, I tell you, you can never be Tunisian. You openly criticizing this government, working anywhere that lie you born. Forget it. Look, I can tell you, this place, the level of hate for Tunisian is a thing. And I don't think that is going to help the country to develop if we continue to be like that. Let's open up the country. Let's work together. And there are other opportunities that are around. We can all come together and say, look, let us do it together. But this idea about winner takes all in a democratic system is not just about winner takes all. That's the reason why when the former president came to power, it was not about winner takes all. He accepted ministers, 5 or 4 or 5 ministers from the previous government, transition to to CDC as ministers. Today, you don't see any. So if we want this country to go forward, we want to develop our country. The issue about the road, which I will conclude with, let us know that yes, road is important, but if we do not have those programs and policy to be able to go with the road, we'll build all the road like what we did in like I said before, in Buchanan. What is the economic benefit of getting rid of Buchanan Road? The one from here all the way going to the Lima County. What is that extra economic benefit besides? And you know, how many factories we see on that road springing out? In Bomi, how many factories we see springing out? So we can build a road and carry all the way southeast. If Liberians don't have that kind of entrepreneurial mind, if we don't start building local businesses, the middle class will not have money to invest. And government officials having companies and making sure that they can employ their family members and they're taking all the contracts from local businesses, it is not going to help this country. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Sorry.
Well, I think from the
Now,
assertion
please
made
let
by
us all of us do our closing first before we leave.
I think
Okay.
the assertion made by Brother Arthur as regards to government official owning company and all this thing is still we still consider to be allegation.
Yeah, I don't know. I
There's
mean,
no of document to
that
prove
would be really wrong if that is true.
some of his alleged allegation. If we have any document to, I think you can bring it forward so we can discuss it. And I think that's a been the trends of our politics, how we discuss issues of concern. And people will just say perception. There are surveys that has always been carried on. Perception corruption in our country has always been alarm, and sometimes people don't have fact to these things. It derailed governance process, and somebody want to say that argue why say it happened in the past. So
Yeah.
if it happened in the past, you think in your mind it was wrong. So you should
Why
train
should-
on these kind of
Yeah.
greater conversation. So I mean, I don't think we do well for the conversation, but the issue about bread and butter issues, I think there are statistical reports upon report that are reflect that Liberian has been in poverty. And one of the things to stretch about is how many people go to bed hungry and how many people actually got mute.
Somebody mute, please.
Actually got mute. And you want to bring out that argument. And those reports are reports that that World Bank or other international partner local to want to support a government. So I don't think there's any report as regards to poverty rate and other business thing. When you talk about current, give me a minute, please.
Oh, that's from you? Guys, you can just do your closing and close your camera. That's you have to be something for other people. That's done.
No, I'm here. I check it tonight. Coming right back.
Yeah, I myself, I wanted to leave now, but I don't know.
Yeah, we
that
will
would've been
be
cool.
done. Conclude. Sorry, myself, I gotta go somewhere real quick.
Yeah, so like saying, there's no report actually to show. I'm still a bit correct there. If but I thought can bring that report, 2023 or 2024 report that has to do a poverty rate, maybe from the UNDP, UNICEF, or whatsoever, and authenticated international organization to reflect the poverty rate. Now you want to talk about the practicality or I mean the realistic aspect of what is happening in Liberia is one thing as well. And I want to agree with you. We need to tackle the bread and butter issue.
Yeah.
All of the time we sit on the platform, we talk about road, we talk about other development. But I mean, I will continue to say, yeah, we don't want to embrace the fact that development in totality or development as whole will not go on if we are not calculated as a country. Now, there could be another argument. When will we get to this development? Because government upon government, tackle every sectors of government. You want to see somebody talking about agriculture, even president, we are talking about agriculture in the PLPD. You talk about roads, you talk about other things. But it was not sufficiently done. And I think that why the Liberian people said, okay, so we thought in our mind you was this clean man that has nothing to do with anything of government. And you could have all of these sorrowful mindset in a common Liberian to govern, to prioritize Liberia. So when you did not do all of these things, I think we have to get you off. Now the ball is in the court of President Bouaka. One want to say to the government that we support it
Indeed.
is tackle and look at basis economic issues. Focus.
Thank
I know
you.
government always have priorities, and the priorities about opposition will always come to with a distracted conversation. Oh, you got the priorities. You talk about roads. I mean, all the ways we see these arguments coming, and they call up. I want to say something more scratch about when you talk about the free tuition. There are policies upon policies in Liberia. The sustainability aspect of it has been one thing we have not looked at. The free tuition policies the government tried to bring to the University of Liberia was a very good thing. And I want to remind Brother Momo, SUP was one of those political parties that championed that cause. And when you say SUP been around and what they've been talking about, these are some of the cause. Yeah, they champion it. In line with other several political parties. There are policies upon policies that are affected our university. SUP and other political parties have spoken against it because it comes with no sincerity. You cannot say free tuition policies and teachers are not coming to classes.
Mm-hmm.
You see, semester hearing we go down 6 to 6 months a semester.
No
What
way.
we having
I
three
agree with
semesters,
you.
3 months for the semester. So it brought a lot of strong literature to the school to the school. There are a lot of things that we were actually challenged. I was in the university by then. I was pursuing my second degree. So I mean, it was a very unique thing for students because
Yeah.
some of us were not even at the door of parents or
Thank
other
you,
government
Karen.
officials to
We have
actually
to.
take the necessary stuff. So the issue
Yeah.
about economic growth and policies, there's a lot of things. The sustainability and the implementation
you.
aspect of it is a whole lot of discussion we can have for another thing. But I think it was a good thing. But I do always a pleasure to be here with you. And I
Yeah.
think we can keep doing these
Come on,
conversations.
Momo.
So,
Yo, 1
gentlemen,
minute.
gentlemen, good show
Yeah, hold
tonight.
on. Language 1 minute is like 10 minutes. Yo, go.
No, good show tonight, gentlemen. I mean, it was a pleasure interacting with
Shut up, man.
Arthur from Monrovia. Look, it's always a good thing to come here and discuss all things Liberia. You know, um, though we may have dissenting views on how we want our country to go, but look, Liberia is just is it's a common denominator, and no, we all here are Liberians before we became before we became aligned with some political party or whatever. So that means the best, in our own way. So we know that we want Liberia to be the best or revered as one of the greatest country in the world. But the way in which we want to pursue this dream might be a little different. CDC got their own way. The party got their own way. The other ANC man, the Green Teacher got their own way. CNC too coming with their own way.
As long none of those ways include getting
Yeah.
yourself, enriching
So
yourself in the country, I'm cool with it.
so for me, I champion the arrest agenda. And the A in the arrest stands for agriculture. And I'm gonna close on agriculture tonight. Look, in order for a nation to thrive, it must be able to feed herself. And currently in 2024, Liberia scored 31.9%. Based that's information that comes from the Global Hunger Index, right? Liberia, is we account for 49% of Liberians are food insecure, and that's a high level of food insecurity. That means more than 51% of our country of our population lives in abject poverty and with hunger. So that's the reason why President Barker, in his own wisdom, made part of his arrest agenda the A that stands for agriculture one of his main priorities, so that we can fight food insecurity, that we can be once more self-sufficient in food production, that we can be able to feed our country again. Because look, when a man is hungry, he sells his dignity. He
That's
doesn't
the
even
same thing.
think. Eh? He doesn't think anymore. So that's why President Barker, his agriculture he spoke about is in full swing. Like I said, in August of this year, Dr. Nuta, the agriculture minister, has gone out there and lobbied. Look, I love this man. because you know what? He's working.
We need to have him on here.
Yeah, he's working. Dr. Nuta has gone out there to China and has lobbied out there. Look, we are supposed to receive 288 agriculture machines,
I
not
hope
yellow
my
machine,
comments. I see them
in August.
before you tell the yellow machine.
Not yellow machine, agriculture machine. That's separate from the yellow machine. So look,
I,
imagine if those machines come to the country, like my brother said, sustainability. We're gonna work on the how to maintain those equipments, how to get, and again, jobs to be created. Look, even to do I frown on government being the highest employer in the country, but guess what? Ordinary Liberians will get involved in the agriculture sector, whereby the government will open up a lot of farms in the country, and a lot of local farmers will form, how you call it, is that how do you, the farmers cooperatives, right? Where you got group of farmers coming together to produce certain crop in certain region based on what that region produces, and they will be backed up by the government. The government going to be the middleman there, who will
Thank you.
help to take their produce to the market, or be the one who's going to purchase, or be the one who's going to take over whatever they're going to produce and bring it to the market. So agriculture, once we can feed ourselves, that's the beginning of our nation being able to stand up tall and be able to, once we feed ourselves, we can be able to distribute to other countries. We're gonna get involved with the cash crop like potato, edibles. We're not just gonna be focused on rice only. Though rice is our staple food, but guess what? We are gonna get involved into
Cassava, some great
cassava
cassava.
production, and we're gonna bring machinery that will give value addition to cassava, not just eating the cassava
It's
itself, but
food.
turning that to starch, turning that to gari. We exporting stuff. Liberia was once more bounced again. Liberia was once more we were becoming the bread basket of Africa. Now
Amen.
in land loaf out. Come on,
Thank you.
look. I have a dream
Eh,
that Liberia
Mama,
will be
please
this
don't like
nation
this tomorrow.
that will be the bread basket of Africa. We will produce enough to eat, and enough will be left for us that we can export to other nations. We will feed countries like Guinea, like sending pepper to all. Guinea not supposed to be sending pepper. We're not going to be buying hot pepper from
The
Guinea.
Mamu sort of, I got it. I thought sort of go.
We
Thank you.
have sufficient soil
I know.
to
I
produce it.
know.
So Arthur, don't worry. We'll give you time now. You said time now. Give us 2026. You will not regret it. You end up joining the Unity Party. You know,
Don't
and we welcome guys like you. Join the arrest agenda, join the rescue train, so that together we all can think Liberia,
Thank you, Momo.
build Liberia,
Thank
and
you
what?
guys for coming in
Love that,
today.
man.
Thank you for watching us from Liberia, from here, my roof. Bajibo Freeman, Francis, and Wilson. Thank you all for watching. We
Thank you guys.
appreciate you,
Thanks.
King. King,
Ruth
thanks
Thank
for
you
Ruth
guys.
watching.
Goba.
Bye bye. Yeah,
We
good night.
appreciate
All
you.
right, man.
And
Good night, my man. Hope to see you
make
tomorrow.
sure
Come on the
you
show
share
tomorrow.
the show. And thank you, Brother, for coming in today. We appreciate it always. And with that being said, my kids are banging my door. They want to go to the store. And I will see you guys. We will
What time
all
is
see
it
you
down there?
guys tomorrow, God's willing. And I'll talk to you later. Good
Bye.
night.